My name is Susan Treabess. I'm an FEI level dressage rider. I was a U.S. team member for the 2010 World Equestrian Games para-dressage team, and this is Moneypenny. In international level dressage, and including para-dressage, nutrition is fundamental to our sport. It's incredibly important to dial in these horses' diets for energy, performance, relaxation, and also their overall health and happiness. Our goals for Moneypenny were to basically get her fit and ready for the World Equestrian Games. Moneypenny had a bout of ulcers. She would sometimes not eat. She was agitated when she had ulcers. She had a couple of colic type symptoms where we actually thought she was colicking, but it turned out to be ulcers. So it was very important to put a diet together for her that would reduce her chances of ulcers and would also promote eating. We needed to put some weight on her and also some muscle and top line. And that's when I started consulting with Clair.
So when I first met Susan, she was feeding Moneypenny a commercially available high-fat performance feed. And she felt like she was having some problems with that feed, and Moneypenny was having some ulcer problems. But she did need that level of energy. She wanted the fat in the diet. So we needed a performance feed, but we needed something that was going to be easy on Moneypenny's digestive system.
You know, we had to figure out what she could eat while she was on the road and how to take care of her for ulcers.
We take a body weight estimate by measuring their girth, circumference, their length in inches, and I have a calculation I use. And we also do condition scoring, so we condition scored her to see what her current condition was, were there certain areas of her body where she needed more condition versus others. So then using her weight and her work level, Susan told me how hard she was working, I was able to use that information, figure out what her requirements were. Another important element to my nutrition consults is we have to get a diet history on the horse, and we have to know exactly what that horse is currently eating. So we weigh the hay that they're being fed, and we weigh the grain that they're being fed. So when you get your hay analysis back from the lab, it's going to tell you a number of different things. You'll be able to tell the energy content, protein content, it'll have all of the trace minerals, macro minerals, and also the amount of sugar and starch that's in your hay. And so this is really useful as a starting ground for them building the rest of your diet around. So these are all our different nutrients along the bottom: energy, protein, lysine, calcium, phosphorus. Here is the 100% of what the horse requires, so that's their requirement right across here at 100%. So you can see for most of these we're at or over 100%, except we're low in copper, and we're low in zinc, and we're possibly a little low in vitamin E.
Well, we changed a lot of things and experimented a lot to figure out what it was that would work for Moneypenny.
We started off going back to old-fashioned oats, beet pulp, wheat bran, which really enabled Susan to increase the fermentable fiber in the diet with the beet pulp, or she could increase the starch. And we added a balancing supplement, mineral vitamin supplement, to kind of give all the vitamins and minerals that were needed.
She probably put on a good 200 pounds of muscle. She started using her abdominal muscles and her back, and so her body condition has changed quite a bit. That was really important. That's something I learned from Clair, is what a good protein level versus and fat level and fiber level is in horses, and how you can combine those things and maximize muscle development. And then also her performance did change. Her energy was better, and she was a lot more willing and came along a lot faster in her training. She started eating consistently, and when we'd take her to horse shows, she would eat at horse shows. That was a huge change.
For all our horses, diet changes should be made gradually, and that can be a challenge for performance horses that are traveling a lot and on the road a lot, because oftentimes they go to areas where the feed they're fed at home just isn't available.
And that is sort of the trick, especially in the international competition. So that was really important to have Clair, so that, for instance, if we do go to London or if we go to other countries, or even just across the country, it can be a problem even across the country, that if they don't have our feed available that we feed here, that she can come up with a diet that is comparable wherever we are. because the last thing you want to do is get somewhere and have your horse not be able to perform because they're eating something completely different than they were at home, or be allergic to what they would be eating at home.
And that was really part of our initial motivation with going with oats, beet pulp and bran, because you really can get those anywhere. So that made it very easy. And then transitioning to a fixed ingredient, fixed formula feed, where you know that every bag is going to be the same wherever you are. So one thing you can do to get an idea of whether the feed you're feeding is a fixed ingredient feed is to look at the ingredient statement on your tag. By law, the tag has to give you the ingredients that are in this feed. And we're looking for individual feed items. So for example, here we've got wheat middlings, we've got flaked barley, we've got vegetable oil, soybean hulls. So what we don't have is we don't have grain products, forage products. These are terms that could encompass any type of grain, any type of forage, and that enables the feed company to change the actual type of forage or grain they put in the feed depending on, a number of different things. For example, commodity costs, what's easily available, and without having to change their tags. And it won't change the nutrient content up here. It won't change the percent protein, percent fiber, calcium. Those things will stay the same even though the ingredients have changed, but the ingredients have changed. Being a fixed formula, fixed ingredient feed, that feed is the same no matter where she is in the country. It's milled out of one mill. The quality is exceptional. And everywhere where she opens a bag, whether she buys it in Illinois, New York, or California, it looks exactly the same. It feeds exactly the same.
This is Fugativo, 12. He's a Spanish stallion, PRE, and he is my next international horse, hopefully for the 2012 Paralympics and the 2014 World Equestrian Games and maybe even the 2016 Paralympics. He's completely different than Moneypenny. When he came to us, he had been a breeding stallion and was quite overweight. We had to pull about 150 pounds off of him, while also making sure his energy stayed good for work. Now we've been able to do that, and so now our challenge over the next couple years is to really put muscle on him and top line on him and develop his hindquarters for the FEI work. To be able to go to the next level, nutrition is a fundamental block, and it's totally worth it. You need to spend the time, spend the money, and it's good for your horses.